Spent a lot of time last year at third base.
First pitch. Oh, there's a swing right at Cervantes, and he catches the liner for the first out. First pitch time, folks, was right at 7 o'clock, and of course we had that hour-long rain delay due to a lightning strike near the Lincoln area. To the Brooks Wallace Award watch list, which goes to the top shortstop in the nation. Tries to lay a bunt down here, and it goes foul back to the screen. 0-1. Bryce Matthews for Nebraska also on that award watch list.
Yeah, two good shortstops on display today. You see the average down there, just a hair under 300 on the season for Harry.
And now he's behind 0-2. Harry, 2 for 16 in his last 5 games, as he re-enters the box against Emmett Olson. The wind in the 0-2. Inside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There was some serious fear about 7 days and 2 hours ago that Olson wouldn't be able to give it a go this weekend, but here he is on the hill, the 1-2, and that one hits off Karen, or rather I believe even home plate, and careens back to Olson. Olson got a line drive that hit off his left foot in the Maryland game on Friday night last week, as he's able to fight through that and deliver the 2-2 here, foul back to the screen.
Yeah, and that first game of the series was a pretty good representation of what this Nebraska team can do. It's only an 8-4 loss against one of the top teams in the Big Ten, and I think a lot of that had to do with Olson on the mound.
2-2. Foul tip. Good fight here from Jay Harry, the shortstop. 6 pitches so far in this AB. Good crowd on hand as we get the 2-2. Back up the middle and through for a base hit. A 1-out base runner for Penn State.
Nice piece of hitting there by Harry to stay alive against the Nebraska ace. And just right up the gut, you go right through Matthews and Anderson up in the interior of the infield. We'll take another look at it. Just got one pretty much right down the pipe, and really nothing Matthews or Anderson could do about it.
Now, it's certainly been a rough patch here recently for Penn State. Again, losers in 6 of their last 7 games, and that's reflected in the numbers at the plate for some of these Nittany Lion bats, as Piacentino falls behind 0-1, but his bat has not been cold of late. 6 of 13 in his last 5 games as he sends one over to second, bobbled by Anderson. The flip to second for 1, on to first, and it is a 4-6-3 double play for Nebraska. We'll see him next, but here's Bryce Matthews to begin the bottom half of the first as he takes a strike on the outside, 0-1.
And you look at the infield defensively for Matthews here, 3 players in between second and third.
Matthews now quickly behind 0-2. Leadoff home run for Matthews sparked the Huskers in the 9-inning portion of the doubleheader at Creighton on Tuesday. And he sends a high hopping ball over towards where shortstop normally would be. There picking it up is the second baseman, Hannon, and he flips to first for out number 1. Number 9 spot, turning the lineup card over, and then moved up around April to the 2-hole where he is now. Burnham, one of the 10 seniors Nebraska will honor on senior day, and he sends one down the right field line. Burnham, as it rolls to the corner, is around first, and now he goes and digs for 3. Burnham will slide in safely. A triple for Casey Burnham with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Went 2 for 5 in the midweek game against Creighton with a double and 2 RBIs. He takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. Did want to correct a quick stat here that we mentioned in the open. I said earlier that the Penn State pitching staff managed 5 strikeouts per every 9 innings. That number's incorrect. I flipped the strikeout and walk numbers. It's actually 9 strikeouts per 9 innings for this Penn State pitching staff, and that is certainly the team's strength, although the walks, 5 for every 9 innings, has been the issue. Pitch outside here, 2-1 on Max Anderson.
Anderson with a man over at third. Already kind of the danger zone that Penn State trying to avoid all day. Nebraska top 5 in RBIs offensively this season.
2-1 upstairs for a ball, 3-1. Morales really hasn't had the walk issue so far this year. 18 walks, 42 strikeouts. The 3-1. Anderson gets a piece of it. Count goes full.
Morales not a big guy up there on the mound, 5'9", 168. But he's shown off the arm here a little bit today.
3-2. Anderson fouls it off. Do it again. Beautiful night for baseball here in Lincoln. 81 degrees, partly cloudy. Of course, not so in many other parts of the state of Nebraska tonight. Wherever you're watching, we hope you're staying safe this evening. 3-2. Anderson, foul. Send it down the left field line. Burnham was in the danger zone there.
Yeah, he can't quite tell if he took the brunt of that ground ball off his body or not, but like you said, that was a very dangerous play over at third base.
Third 3-2 pitch coming here from Morales. Here's the payoff to Anderson. Lifted up and headed for the berm on the right field side and out of play. Anderson with that .403 batting average. One of just 2 players nationally to hit over 400 with 19 or more home runs. 3-2. Swing and a miss. And Morales with a huge strikeout. So 2 outs here for Gabe Swanson, Husker cleanup hitter, sophomore. Average just below 300 at 299. Hails from Johnston, Iowa. Has had an incredible season here at Haymarket Park alone. 14 home runs this year, 12 have come at this ballpark. The 0-1. Foul. Sharply down the third base side, 0-2. And what a big get this would be from Morales after giving up the 1-out triple. 0-2 offering, low and in the dirt. Good block from Bramley, the catcher.
And we mentioned the importance of not only this game, but the entire series for both these teams. And for Morales, you have to find a way to slow down this Nebraska offense. You don't want to let them get going in the first inning.
1-2. Fouled off again there by Swanson. Yeah, it is a really tough slate to end the year for Penn State. You come here to Nebraska this week, and you'll head home for the final weekend of the season to take on the top-seeded Terrapins, soon to be top-seed Maryland Terrapins at the Big Ten tourney. And Swanson goes down swinging. Morales strands Burnham after the 1-out triple, and we are scoreless heading to the top half of the second. For Nebraska, the same line as Penn State in the first inning. No runs on 1 hit, no error, but 1 big runner left on base. To the top half of the second we go. No score between Penn State and Nebraska here on Big Ten Plus. Able to end that top half of the first inning. First pitch here inside to Marsh, 1-0. 305 hitter this year. 28 RBIs. Takes a strike now. Count evens up at 1-1. Marsh, one of 4 transfers on this Penn State squad as he falls behind 1-2. previously attended Florida Atlantic. 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Olson, and one's down.
Well, Emmett Olson looks at Jordan Morales snagging 2 strikeouts in the first, and now he's trying to put his name in contention there, not trying to get outdone on his home baseball field.
Next up, it's Taven Kelly, senior out of Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania, one of 24 Pennsylvania natives on this Penn State squad.
Yeah, Kelly's a guy that's really impressed me this season. He's really stepped his offensive numbers up from last year. It's 6 multi-hit games last year, 12 already this season.
0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. The other number that jumps out about Kelly is the triples. 5 of them this year. The record for triples in a season at Penn State is 6. And with 6 games to go, he can certainly have a good shot at catching or potentially surpassing that mark, as he's behind here 0-2.
And he just watched Casey Burnham put a triple on the stat sheet just a few minutes ago here in the park.
0-2. And it's in the dirt, strike 3, picked up by Karen. The throw to Cervantes at first is in time to complete the strikeout, and there's 2 gone. Senior hitting .277. He has had a major rough patch as he takes a strike on the outside edge, 0-1. 1 for 17 in his last 5 games. No hits in his previous 13 at-bats. And now it's 1-1. Norris, though, that 1 hit was a big one. It came in the game that Penn State won against Iowa a couple of weeks ago as a 3-run shot. 2-1 here on Norris.
Yeah, and outside of this rough patch late in the season, he's had quite a solid first season, I would say. I mean, he leads Penn State with 38 RBIs this year. That ranks him just outside of the top 25 in the conference.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Olson strikes out the side here in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Again, another one of Nebraska's seniors that will be honored on Sunday here at Haymarket Park in Lincoln. Everett, a .256 hitter. 20 hits so far this season in 78 at-bats. First pitch there, first strike on the outside edge, 0-1. Morales had a relatively decent start his last time out against Rutgers. 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs allowed. 5 strikeouts and 2 walks, and he's up 0-2 here on Everett.
Yeah, and if you go back to the bottom of the first inning combined, the last 5 batters have struck out. So we'll see if Morales can keep this momentum going.
0-2 outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Everett. He'll be followed by Josh Karen and then Cole Evans. The 1-2. Called strike 3 on the outside edge. Everett goes down looking, and there's 1 gone. Five for 16 in his last 5 games. Did not play in the 9-inning contest against Creighton. Did finish up the 3 innings suspended and then resumed game on Tuesday. The 0-1. Low for a ball.
Yeah, there was a lot of baseball being played in the state of Nebraska for both these teams this week. Obviously, Penn State playing Omaha and Nebraska finishing up against Creighton in the midweek.
Swing and a miss, 1-2 here on Karen. Morales up to 3 strikeouts, hunting a 4th now. The 1-2. High for a ball, 2-2.
Karen's really improved at the plate this year. He's 2 hits shy of tripling his hits total from last season. We'll see if he can get there in this final home series.
2-2. Ooh, that just misses the outside edge, and now the full count pitch coming here to Karen. Here's the 3-2 from Morales. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the mitt of the catcher, Bramley. And another Husker down on strikes, another batter down on strikes. And here comes Cole Evans, hoping to change the trend.
5 in his last appearance.
First pitch to Evans is fouled off. 0-1 now on Cole Evans, one of the junior college additions to this Nebraska squad, a Grand Island native. Went 0 for 4 with a run batted in against Maryland. Very solid Minnesota series, his last time here at Haymarket Park. The 1-1. Swung on and missed, 1-2. In that series against the Gophers, Evans 5 of 11, a double, a home run, and 3 runs driven in. The 1-2, sharply hit at the shortstop, Harry. He gloves it clean, makes the throw to first, and it is a 1-2-3, bottom half of the second inning for Penn State and Jordan Morales.
Have been sat down by way of K. Here is Emmett Olson on the mound for Nebraska, in for strike 1 against Josh Spiegel. First baseman tonight for the Nittany Lions. That one inside for ball 1. Spiegel transferred to Penn State in the fall of 2020. He's been here ever since. Olson working quickly as that one is fouled off into the stands here at Haymarket Park.
Look, if you're Penn State, this is the exact start you want. You get the early confidence boost with stranding a runner on third base, and to boot, you've already really been extremely confident this year in series openers. 9-3 in the first game of a weekend set this year are the Penn State Nittany Lions, and one of those wins came in the season opener against Miami, a team that at the time was ranked in the top 25 and is now number 11 in the land.
Both teams come into today. Nebraska 6th in the Big Ten. Penn State sitting at 11th. However, in the RPI rankings, Penn State sitting at 121, Nebraska at 119. As there is the 3-2 walk to Spiegel. So that'll be the second base runner of the evening for Penn State.
Yeah, leadoff walk here. It's interesting. Olson has had a, I don't know, rough patch isn't exactly the right word for it. He was very excellent at the beginning of the year for Nebraska. Had a couple of weeks in April where things were really a struggle. And in those weeks, the issues, the things that sort of really highlighted some of his flaws were those longer ABs. The longer teams were able to extend ABs, the quicker they're able to wear him down, which is normal for any pitcher. But the walks as well sort of became an issue, and things that weren't an issue for him really in the first 8 or so weeks of the season.
The 0-2 coming to Billy Gerlach. That one's in the dirt, but a nice job by Josh Karen to get all over that one. Gerlach hasn't recorded a hit in his last 6 appearances. 0 for his last 12 at-bats. Trying to get that off of him tonight. Another nice job by Karen behind the plate. And you mentioned before the game you'll be interested to see how Karen can make a little bit of a comeback behind the plate tonight, making those stops.
Yeah, he had some major trouble dealing with a few of those, either pass balls or wild pitches the other weekend.
2-2 lined over to third and caught. And in there for the double play. What a job by Dylan Carey to sky into the air as we take another look at it. Stabs it out of the sky and makes the throw to first in time to Cervantes.
You know what, folks? Dylan Carey has drawn a lot of attention at different points throughout the year, especially in the early months of the year for his bat, and it's easy to understand why. He was the #1 player, according to Prep Baseball Report, in the state of Colorado. He batted over 500 in his senior year of high school. But I will say this, as he has slumped this year for Nebraska down the stretch, I think his defensive ability has been extremely underrated, and you just saw a glimpse of it there.
Kyle Hannon now up for the Nittany Lions, showing bunt so far. But man, what a job over at third by Dylan Carey.
Yeah, he will make a serious impact for Nebraska next year. I think a lot of folks probably project him at shortstop. But, and you go back to even plays that Nebraska made when they turned that near triple play against Creighton.
1-1 fouled back.
He was a huge piece of starting that by snagging a liner or off a sharp grounder, stepping on third and getting the relay throw off balance to second base.
The 1-2 from Olsen. Swing and a miss, and they say maybe foul tip, but caught nonetheless behind the plate by Josh Karen. Nebraska defense can make a play like that.
Yeah, really outstanding job. And, of course, again, the other side of it, though, is the slump at the plate. And just to expound a little bit on that, 1 for 16 in his last 5 games as Dylan Carey, just 2 hits in the last 2 weeks. Now, that one hit he does have is a 2 RBI, 2-out single against Maryland in that Sunday game earlier this weekend. So it was a big one, but still, again, he has been really, really struggling of late.
Speaking of struggling, really the middle of this Nebraska lineup tonight has struggled to get things going. 4 of the last 5 batters for Nebraska have struck out so far tonight. There's the 3-1 coming now.
That's been the problem for Carey too at different points this year. He's been plagued by strikeouts, 45 of them.
Now he pops this one into center field, and underneath it and caught is Johnny Piacentino to go get Dylan Carey. And well, here's the Tucson, Arizona native, Efrain Cervantes, who was on the other side of that double play in the top half of this inning from Dylan Carey over at first base. 3 home runs on the year. Morales in there for a strike.
I think one of the things that's impressed me at different points in these first few innings has just been the general mental fortitude of these pitchers who have stayed locked in.
Cervantes chops this one over to second. Sliding effort is not in time by Kyle Hannon. A nice job, though, to make sure that ball doesn't make it past him.
And so, again, kind of to go back to my thought, even before Cervantes picked up the single, the infield hit, these pitchers, whether it be Emmett Olsen with the leadoff walk he issued in the top of the third or Morales with the triple he allowed to Burnham, they've stayed locked in and they haven't been shaken by base runners and been able to strand everybody. So let's see if that trend continues here with Morales. He's already done it once.
Matthews hit deep and out of here. Bryce Matthews with a 2-run shot. And he breaks the scoreless game up and makes it 2-0 Huskers.
What a swing from Matthews. And now Matthews is 1 stolen base away from being a part of the 2020 club. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. He'd be the first in Nebraska history to achieve that.
With that long ball. As now Casey Burnham, who in his last time up had the triple. We'll see how he can follow that effective first at bat. Burnham puts this one up into the outfield high in the sky and caught in center field by Piacentino.
This year, I don't think you want to get Max Anderson or even Gabe Swanson, who's on deck, a second look at Morales. And 44 pitches in, maybe there's even a chance that you could use Morales again later on in the week for a shorter outing.
I'm sure Lundsman isn't super happy to have to face Max Anderson for his first batter of the evening. 401 average for Max Anderson, top 2 in the Big Ten. This time grounded over to third. Norris to first in time, and that retires the side, but not before Nebraska puts 2 on the board with a long ball by Bryce Matthews into deep center field. We'll see how Penn State responds coming up in the top of the 4th here on Big Ten Plus.
The later parts of the summer. Talking with the media earlier this week was sort of talking about how weird it would feel for him to not be pitching here at Haymarket Park.
This one grounded over to second. Anderson makes the throw easily over to Cervantes in time to retire Bramley. For Emmett Olson here this evening, 4 strikeouts as well. He's facing Jay Harry now. Harry, one of the only base runners and the only hit of the evening for Penn State, had that single early in the first inning.
It was really well executed at bat from Harry. He extended it until he got the pitch he wanted and able to find a hole in the defense and just dribble one through there.
Yeah, that one got right through the interior of the Nebraska defense, past Matthews and Anderson. And here is the 1-2 coming to Jay Harry. In the dirt. So far this season, Harry has set new single-season career highs in home runs, doubles, runs scored, as that one's fouled way out of play.
Harry might have just swung at ball 3 there, I think.
Nebraska's pitching staff just 6th in the Big Ten in strikeouts thrown this season. And there's a strikeout looking for Jay Harry, and the 5th of the evening for Emmett Olson.
It has been smooth sailing for him.
Olson facing Piacentino now. Up top for ball 1, Piacentino has shown some immense power last season. He tied for the 8th most triples in a single season at Penn State. Fouled out of play by Piacentino.
Yeah, I think you just got to find a way to get somebody on base right now just to sort of stabilize some things from a momentum perspective. It can really, I think baseball in some ways is different than a lot of other sports, and that momentum can sit with you for a long time.
Piacentino puts this one way up into shallow center, and it is caught by Casey Burnham to retire the side. So 3 up, 3 down yet again for Emmett Olson. That's 4 times in a row.
12 home runs of his 14 on the year have come at Haymarket Park. His home run against Maryland this past weekend was his first away from home since the 5th of March against Hawaii. That came at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis.
And speaking of home runs for Nebraska, that one from Bryce Matthews in the bottom of the 3rd, as that is popped out of play by Swanson. That was home run number 87 on the year. The Huskers now just 6 away from the program record set in 1985. This is the first time that Nebraska's had 75-plus home runs since 2003. Lundsman up too high on that one. 2-2 coming to Gabe Swanson.
With 5 games to go, I think there's probably a strong chance that Nebraska breaks that record.
Inside and actually made contact with Swanson, so there's a hit by pitch and a free base. Everett kind of having somewhat of a down year offensively. One of his lowest batting average since joining Nebraska. Struck out looking in the second. Was one of 4 straight strikeouts thrown by Penn State earlier on this evening. We'll see if he can get back on track in his second time up here.
Yeah, again, I do wonder, just thinking back to that last at-bat, how much of the strikeout came down to him, I think, thinking that he had only 1 strike before he took strike 3.
The long right-hander Lundsman up on the mound. You mentioned earlier, very righty-heavy offensive lineup for Nebraska, now facing that tall right-handed pitcher. We'll see if Lundsman can bring some more momentum back to the Penn State side as it's 1-2 coming to Everett.
Yeah, and you also have to wonder how much of that decision to go to Lundsman this early was influenced by how righty-heavy Nebraska's lineup is.
The 1-2 to Everett. Swing and a miss. And there is another strikeout, the first of the evening.
But it still had plenty of shortcomings, and Penn State has done a good job of exploiting those so far tonight. Of course, strikeouts being the biggest one, but not only just strikeouts with runners on base. Head coach Will Bolt mentioned that at several points throughout the week, that has been the Achilles heel for this Nebraska offense.
Karen takes low in the dirt, 2-0. Karen, another strikeout victim earlier this evening. Struck out looking in the second.
And now Nebraska up to 3 strikeouts already with runners on base, and now another hit batter for Lundsman. Wow, to work against some of Nebraska's lower bats and get out of the inning.
First pitch off for a ball. Cole Evans, 20 RBIs on the year. He's got 2 on the base path for him right now. 1 in scoring position is Swanson. Pitch in there for a strike to Evans. Spent 2 seasons at Parkland College and a shortened 2020 season at Creighton. The 1-1. Line right over to third. No throw in time at second. And over at third, Grant Norris just holds on to it. Maybe had a chance over at first.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. I think Norris looked at second first, didn't see a play, and decided to eat it, not throw to first. But you know, we've seen Norris make some really good plays tonight. Already saw one, I think, the last half inning. So he's done a really good job there at the hot corner, and he's experienced too. Transfer from Duke as a grad transfer. Yeah, I'm surprised by that, I think.
Dylan Carey flew out in the third inning. We'll see what he's got up his sleeve here in the bottom of the fourth. 2 down, 2 runners on for Nebraska. The 1-0 from Lundsman. In there for strike 1. Here's a fun fact about Dylan Carey. His grandfather, Dave Carey, was drafted by the Montreal Expos in the 4th round of the 1971 MLB draft. I got a quiz question for you here, Grant, if we've got any time. Maybe not, as that's popped up into the right field area and almost out of play and caught to retire the side. So no quiz for you, Grant, quite yet.
In college baseball, starting pitchers, or rather just pitchers in general, have remained confident, and there's only been 1 mistake. Could this be 2? A deep shot to right, and it is a solo leadoff home run for Bobby Marsh, and Penn State is on the board. Well, how about that? 2-1 Nebraska. And the home runs, Olsen has had a really strong year for Nebraska, but the home runs have been the issue.
Yeah, home runs allowed for Nebraska have really cost them. And right here, the first pitch of the inning, and Bobby Marsh takes Emmett Olsen long. This entire start, Emmett Olsen has been completely dominant. And just like that, one pitch and one swing of the bat can change all the momentum.
Taven Kelly in there now, ahead 1-0, struck out swinging in the second inning. For that home run, we didn't have time to tell you, Grant Hansen and Jacob Trantz are with you here on the call. Grounder over to short. Matthews fields it clean, throws to first. Good stretch there a little bit over to his right for Cervantes, and quickly one away.
Nice job by Olsen to get a ball on the ground, but not going to help you get out of that home run at all. That one's on the board for good. And in a 2-1 game, Penn State has shown a lot of fight here for a team that's been really middle of the pack offensively and defensively this season.
First pitch strike delivered in there to Grant Norris. 0-1. That pitch just misses.
And I think we're seeing the urgency of a Penn State team that realizes the importance of this series. They go and switch the pitchers up quickly.
1-1. Here's a deep shot towards left center, and that one is gone, and this game is tied. 2 solo home runs for Penn State have evened the ledger here in the 5th. Grant Norris breaks a streak of 14 consecutive at-bats without a hit. 2-2.
I mean, what a start to this back half of this baseball game. Emmett Olsen, really nothing he can do about it, as there's just 2 solo shots in the last 3 at-bats for Penn State, and all of a sudden, I mean, Nebraska's probably looking at that bullpen.
That one 93 miles an hour, 424 to left center. Those 2 pitches that Penn State has sent out of the ballpark here, they have got absolutely all of it. Now Josh Spiegel, who walked in the 3rd inning, wants in on the action. Fouled off, and he's quickly down 0-1 in the count.
Yeah, and he was swinging for the fences right away, trying to keep this momentum going.
And the Haymarket Park crowd here in Lincoln is dead quiet. 1 ball, 1 strike to Spiegel. Gerlach on deck. Now 1-2 after that foul ball.
And I have to mention again, just the urgency that Penn State is showing right now. They haven't won a road Big Ten game since April 14th against Purdue.
1-2, back at Olsen. I think it ricocheted off him. Matthews able to adjust, field it clean, and there's another 6-3 put out for the Husker shortstop. 2 away. So we have gone solo homer, 6-3 ground out, solo homer, 6-3 ground out. What happens here? With Billy Gerlach, junior from Pennsylvania, Auburn, Pennsylvania, lined out into a double play his last time up.
Yeah, and that's now 0 for his last 13 at-bats for Gerlach. Not sure if Olsen will have too much trouble here, but you never know.
1 ball, 1 strike to the 8-hole batter for Penn State. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss there on the 2-1. Count draws even at 2-2. Olsen trying to complete his 5th inning of work. The 2-2 pitch overthrown and low. And now the count runs full.
Yeah, Olsen missed inside right there. We just saw Lunsman for Penn State hit 2 batters last inning inside. Lucky that he missed there.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. It's in the dirt. Karen tags Gerlach to complete the strikeout, and the top half of the fifth is over.
Cervantes was one of the 2 runs for Nebraska that scored in that 2-run shot by Matthews.
He takes a strike here, 0-1. It was that effort play single. And again, don't want it to be forgotten, the effort on the other end defensively from Hannon at second base for Penn State. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. He really made a nice sliding stop in the outfield grass. Just couldn't quite get the throw over to catch Cervantes, so that one comes in and is caught inside for a ball, 2-1.
And Lunsman's done a pretty good job. He gave up those 2 hit by pitch in the last inning, but other than that, I mean, three outs forced, no runs scored.
This one fouled off sharply down the right side.
And
lands in the berm.
Overall for Nebraska, sorry about that, it was only 3 hits so far this evening, but a triple, a home run, and a single have been enough to put 2 runs on the board.
2-2 pitch to Cervantes. Chopper towards first and misplayed by Spiegel, and Cervantes runs it out and is safe at first. That should likely go as an error. His 20th blast of the season. Went over 400 plus to left. First pitch taken for a strike, going 1. Matthews on the day. 1 for 2. Grounded out to Hannon to begin the bottom half of the first inning. Lunsman's 0-1. Sharp liner, look out. 0-2. That one was going for the right field concourse at a high speed. Lunsman looking in. The 0-2 offering. Matthews reaches out again and slaps it foul. So the AB continues.
Yeah, that was 97 coming in at Bryce Matthews. Lunsman can really send a ball in there with some heat. That 6'6" frame, he's able to send a ball down at you, and Matthews has done a good job today already. We'll see if he can get going against Lunsman.
Cervantes trots back to first. Nebraska, with the pitching change made by Penn State, elects to keep Cervantes in the batting order. Very easily could put Charlie Fisher or Ben Columbus in, a couple of lefties to play first. As Matthews fouls off another pitch, 0-2. But again, the staff continues to trust Cervantes, and he's delivered so far today.
And he's just got a lot of experience that Nebraska really likes to lean on in situations like this. And, you know, I think he gives them what they're asking for.
0-2. Here on Matthews. Lunsman trying to put him away. The pitch. Slap towards third, and again foul. So long 0-2 AB here from Matthews.
That's really just credit to Matthews' hitting acumen this season. I mean, it's an 0-2 count, but the score sheet doesn't show the whole picture.
And here he lifts one towards right, trouble if it's fair, but again it slices foul and stays 0-2. Yeah, I think that's been one of the more interesting pieces of Matthews' game as he's evolved from sophomore to junior seasons. Strikeouts were a huge issue for him a year ago, and they still are, but the plate discipline this year has been much improved. He's almost at a 1-to-1 strikeout walk ratio for a guy who in 2022 was at one point on pace to break the single season record for strikeouts. The 0-2, foul off again.
You can just tell there's no fooling Bryce Matthews right now. He's seeing the ball super well out of Lunsman's hands, and if you're Travis Lunsman, you don't want to let Bryce Matthews stick around for too much longer. You've got to sit him down.
0-2. Matthews rips it to left. It's a base hit. And so Matthews wins a long AB And now 2 on and nobody out for Casey Burnham. Corners in, Burnham shows bunt, and it goes to the backstop. And so now 2 runners in scoring position for Nebraska.
2 runners in scoring position and 2 runners with great speed on the base path. Matthews and Cervantes can move it. So anything you would imagine, anything out into the outfield and down would likely bring in both of them.
So now the infield in a little bit here against Burnham, who takes inside for ball 2. And with Max Anderson on deck, the last thing Lunsman wants to do here is put Burnham on base. His 2-0. Foul tip, 2-1.
And if Burnham gets on here, even if it's just a walk or something like
2-1. Bunt, first base side. Good spot. Lunsman picks it up, flips to first, and that's in time to get Burnham, but the sacrifice does its job. Cervantes scores. And in his last AB, in his first AB, mentioned that he is one of 2 players nationally with 19 or more home runs as he takes upstairs and a 400-plus batting average. And since Jake couldn't quite pull off the quiz on me earlier, I'll do it to you now. Who is the other player?
I could not tell you that one, Grant. I'm sorry.
1-0, fouled off, 1-1. Well, the answer, oddly enough, is there is a slight Nebraska connection. There, Charlie Condon of Georgia is the other name. Teammates with Bryce Matthews in summer ball with the St. Cloud Rocks up in the Northwoods League. 1-1. There for a strike, 1-2. Matthews standing on third. First and second empty for Max Anderson, who is 0 for 2 on the evening, facing off against Lunsman. 1-2 pitch. Anderson slaps it towards short. It's in the hole and through. An RBI single for Max Anderson. And so the Huskers give up 2 runs in the top half of the 5th. They get 2 runs back in the home half of the inning. So now Gabe Swanson officially 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch and stranded in the 4th. Throw back to check on Anderson. He dives in safely.
And it's been pretty clear the last few innings for Nebraska how comfortable this team is playing at home. They're returning to Lincoln after 4 road games, but they haven't lost at home since April 28th in that 9-inning barn burner against Minnesota where they lost 9-7.
1-1. The count on Swanson. Blow it away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Griffin Everett in the on-deck circle. He has struggled today for Nebraska. 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts. Pitch to Swanson. Low, and it gets past, or rather careens off the catcher in Bramley, and Anderson takes his base, and now another runner in scoring position for the Huskers.
Now some action in the bullpen has got to be happening, you would imagine, as Lunsman has really kind of lost control of this game. 2 runs scored in this inning, and it doesn't look like Nebraska is ready to stop yet.
And so Swanson draws the walk. Runners on first and second. And now here comes Griffin Everett. Everett's average down to 250. Nebraska today. With runners in scoring position, 1 for 5. That one hit came from Max Anderson just a few moments ago. First pitch inside to Everett, 1-0. Of course, you got to count probably that sac bunt in there, although it won't go officially as a hit or retired batter. That was a well-executed play from Burnham. And a late called strike against Everett, 1-1. And Penn State, with 2 outs, a double play ball here, will get you out of the inning and keep this game well within reach. So Lunsman certainly has faced a good amount of adversity in this frame, but this game is hardly blown open at this time. 2-1. Misses the outside edge. Now 3 balls and 1 strike to Griffin Everett. And Lunsman in danger of loading up the bags. Pitch to Everett. Outside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded for Josh Karen. .269 on the year with runners on base, .262 with runners in scoring position. And he takes a strike going 1. And certainly if you're head coach Rob Cooper for Penn State, you probably let Lunsman face Karen here, considering Karen's struggles in these situations. 1-1.
And with 1 out, you do have the potential for the double play. And with everyone on the base path, the play is to anywhere you can get. So a double play here could really do Lunsman some favors.
Karen's 0 for 2, now behind 1-2 in the count. Struck out swinging in the second. Hit by a pitch, rather correction, he's 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch in the 4th. Karen awaiting the 1-2. Here it comes. Lifted up, foul and out of play off the right side. .25 RBIs here for Karen. Anything to the outfield would score 1 with 1 away. And oh, he's hit by a pitch. A loaded bases hit batter plates a run for Nebraska. And Anderson comes home. Nebraska leads it 5-2. 3 runs on 2 hits and an error in the inning for Nebraska.
Yeah, that's the 3rd hit by pitch by Lunsman this evening, and that's the 3rd time it's been on a righty hitter, obviously.
Cornhuskers lead it 5-2 over Penn State. First pitch to Evans, in for a strike, going 1. Penn State fighting for its postseason life this weekend and next. Currently on the 11 line in the Big Ten. Need to get up to the 8 spot in order to make the tourney. 3 games back. Evans down 0-2 with Dylan Carey on deck.
You got to wonder where the confidence can come back for Lunsman at this point. He's got the 7 and 8 hitters next up, but you don't want to go through the whole batting lineup for Nebraska in the same inning. That is not going to help the confidence at all.
0-2 taken towards left on a line. It is caught out in left field from Kelly. Tagging is Burnham. He scores. And now 4 runs for Nebraska, a 6-2 advantage. Runner on second, Griffin Everett. Carey shows bunt, takes strike 1. Karen stands on first. Efrain Cervantes is on deck. Here comes the 0-1. Carey takes one towards the right center gap, and that's going to plug it. It just gets past the diving Gerlach. One run is in. Carey takes off for third. 2 runs have scored. Carey slides in there safely. And has some fire for the Nebraska dugout.
When you need as many wins as you can get this late into the season.
Here's Cervantes, led off the inning, reached on an error. Today he is 1 for 2, had a single to the infield. Back in the third, chance to drive in a run.
This is another right-handed pitcher as well. Lundsman started off strong on the mound as a righty against this Husker offense, but they really figured him out in a hurry. We'll see if they can get Miller's pitching under control.
2-0. Now 3-0 on Cervantes. Just a moment ago, a Dylan Carey 2 RBI triple to right. Strike at the top of the zone. Cervantes took a step towards first and now has to walk back to the box. Put in the 9-hole hitter on with Bryce Matthews on deck. Ill-advised. 1-2. Cervantes sends it towards left, and that is a fair ball up against the wall in left. 1 run has scored. Cervantes on his way to second. It is an RBI double, and now 3 2-out RBIs for Nebraska. Matthews had that gem of an at-bat last time up. Extended it well beyond 8 pitches, all behind 0-2. And then delivered a single against Lundsman. That's part of how Nebraska sparked this inning. 1-0 from Miller. Matthews, high chopper, and it is over the head of the third baseman Norris, and it is another single for Matthews, who is 3 for 4, runners on the corners. Sacrifice bunt for Burnham. A triple in this ball game. And a fly ball to center field. First pitch well outside. Bramley saves a run by picking that one up. 9-2. Nebraska in the bottom of the 5th. We entered this frame even at 2 runs apiece. Throw back to try to catch Matthews. 19 stolen bases for the Husker shortstop this season.
You mentioned earlier, he just needs that 1 stolen base to get to that 20-20 club.
Miller's 1-0 upstairs. 2-0 on Burnham. And now Max Anderson in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, now Miller's in danger of loading up the bases yet again defensively for Penn State, for one of the best hitters in the entire conference, for Max Anderson.
2-1 after Miller found the outside edge. Burnham awaiting the pitch. Here it comes. Upstairs, Matthews on his way down to second, and he is out. Matthews going for that 20th stolen base. Tagged out at second base, and that'll end the inning for Nebraska. But 7 runs on 5 hits and 1 Penn State error as the Huskers respond to the 2 solo shots from the Nittany Lions in the top half of the inning to plate 7 in the bottom half of the 5th. On to the top of the 6th. Nebraska leads 9-2 here in Lincoln on Big Ten Plus.
5th, and those 2 solo shots given up by Emmett Olson not feeling as important anymore.
First swing from Hannon, fouled off into the screen just above the third base dugout. 4 for 12 in his last 5. Double a home run and 3 RBIs for Hannon, who is 0 for 1 today. 0-2 count here on Hannon. Olson shakes off a sign. Now he's ready. Here's the pitch. Popped up on the infield. Olson calling everyone off, and he makes the catch for the first down.
There was enough time under that ball for pretty much anyone in the infield to come get under that one, but Emmett Olsen said, I'm already on a roll today. Let me make a defensive play, as he just calls off Dylan Carey over at third.
Bramley to the plate now. Bramley, good hitter, 335 on the year. Entering tonight, he is 0 for 2, and a line out to first in the first inning. Grounded out to second base in the fourth. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bramley. He certainly seems due. 1-1 pitch. Ooh, another check swing basically that fouled off. That's the second time we've seen one of those in this inning.
Yeah, that was kind of an indecisive play by the leadoff man for Penn State. I'm sure looking back on that one on film, he's going to wish he was swinging.
1-2. That's ripped towards right. If it stays fair, it's out, and it's foul. So Olsen just nearly avoided giving up his third solo homer of the night.
And now that check swing foul ball hurts almost a little bit more if you're Thomas Bramley. You show you had all that power in your bat, and you give up a free strike like that. That's a tough way.
4 blasts on the year for Bramley, the catcher. A guy with some serious speed. Takes the pitch low and in. Also, some excellent discipline. 39 walks on the season. And now he's worked the count to 3-2. Now he pops it up into the overcast night sky. Carey called off. The shortstop Matthews comes and makes the catch in foul territory for the second out.
Another long pop-up by this Penn State offense, giving Nebraska plenty of time to get under it, almost losing it in the night sky here in Lincoln, but Matthews, quick feet, able to get into the foul territory to make the out.
So 2 away for the shortstop, Jay Harry. Takes 1 inside for a ball, 1-0. Olsen. As that pitch just misses for ball 2. Has faced the minimum in 4 of tonight's 5 innings so far that he has completed.
Could very easily make it 5 of the 6 if he can get Harry right here.
2-1. Check swing appeal down to third base. And no offering, according to third base umpire Trey Nelson. So 3-1 here to Harry, who singled in the first and struck out looking in the fourth. 3-2, swing and a miss. Big cut and no contact.
And this is what Nebraska wants out of their Friday, their ace starter from Emmett Olsen.
Payoff pitch on the ground towards second. Ranging over there is Anderson. He throws to first, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 top half of the 6th inning for Penn State. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Bottom half of the 6th inning coming up. 2, 3, and 4 due up for Nebraska when we return on Big Ten Plus. Takes the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. His at-bat cut short in the bottom half of the 5th when Bryce Matthews was caught stealing. 1-0, low and away. 2-0 here to Burnham. Strike at the top of the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Burnham, .311 hitter this year, .429 in the leadoff spot. Ryan Partridge allowing a ridiculous clip to leadoff hitters, .550 on the year. 3-1 now, hitters count for Casey Burnham. Pitch on the ground over towards second, picked up the throw off balance and unable to squeeze the glove around it is Spiegel. So here's Anderson. First pitch swinging for Anderson as he fouls it off, 0-1. Anderson has had a really strong night. Single there in the 5th. And now he lines one towards center field, and that is caught out there in center field by Pisantino. 1 out, 1 on now for Gabe Swanson, who is 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch in the 4th, walked in the 5th. Struck out back in the 1st inning. Griffin Everett is on deck. Throw back to Burnham at first base, not in time. Partridge is offering, fouled off. 1-1. Long look there from Partridge. Trying to check the speed there of Burnham. You see it there on the pickoff attempt.
The wind has died down almost to a halt here in Lincoln.
Swanson, a liner, that's through into right. Base hit for Swanson. Burnham rounds second and heads for third, and he's there standing up. So runners on the corners and 1 out for Griffin Everett. Everett, captain on this team. He takes a strike, 0-1. Joined by Bryce Matthews, Ephraim Cervantes, Kyle Perry, and Jay Shanneman. 0-1 on Everett. High hopper picked up there by the first baseman Spiegel. The throw back to second in time. And Penn State turns a big double play to deny Nebraska here in the 6th. Well played by Spiegel, who wipes out the error he had earlier. And Penn State holds Nebraska's lead at 7, 9-2 Cornhuskers.
Taking your Friday evening with us here on Big Ten Plus as Johnny Piacentino, I should say, sorry about that, is up to bat for the Nittany Lions. Emmett Olson still pitching for Big Red, as this one's grounded right over to Max Anderson at second. Throw to first in time to Cervantes for the first out of the inning.
And for Penn State right now, you're looking at a really tall order, at least it feels like, to come back from this deficit at this point in the ball game with just, at this point, 8 outs left to work with. But there's, I think, a lot positive you can take from this game, and you've proven, at least as long as Olson is in here, that you can hit the long ball against him. Bobby Marsh did so in his last at-bat.
That pitch way inside on the lefty Marsh.
So again, if you can get some runners on base, perhaps you can get another big swing there, or just keep trying to chip away at this one. You can compete with this Nebraska team. You've shown that in the first half of this ball game. It's that crooked number from Nebraska in the bottom half of the 5th and some clutch 2-out hitting from the Huskers that has been the difference.
The 2-0. Off again, make it 3-0 now. Olson kind of frustrated with that call. Olson just 87 pitches here in the top of the 7th. How much longer do you expect Olson to be able to go here if he continues this success? You think he goes all 9?
He can go at least to triple digits. And I think, you know, if this coaching staff feels that he has enough cushion to to pull off a complete game as he issues the walk there without Nebraska, coming out on the losing end of this one. I think they're going to do it just because it very well could be his final start here at Haymarket Park.
What a final start it potentially may be for Emmett Olson, as this one is popped way into right field and at the wall and out of here. Taven Kelly sends a 2-run shot for Penn State, and just like that, add 2 more for the Nittany Lions.
So now, at this point, 3 home runs given up by Olson in this game. The season is 13 for Olson. He has a real tendency to give up the long ball. I mean, this one goes middle, and Penn State, when Olson has made that mistake, the Nittany Lions have capitalized and done an excellent job of that so far tonight. Now, that is the first time that's happened with runners on base. The leadoff walk comes, or rather the one-out walk comes out and bites Olson.
The 4, 5, and 6 hitters in this Nittany Lions lineup, all with home runs this evening, is now Grant Norris, the third baseman, trying to maybe keep this momentum going. And now we have a visit with Emmett Olson coming up.
Yeah, first time we've seen Jeff Christie make his way out there for Nebraska. A couple arms. Now, the good thing here is, again, for Olson, you're working with the bases empty at this point.
This one is well hit and now kind of dropping down in center field and caught by Casey Burnham. So there's out number 2 for this Huskers defense.
Olson has gone into the triple digits multiple times. Still working with a pretty significant cushion. Just has to avoid making those mistakes.
Popped way up in the sky over at center at Casey Burnham yet again. And Burnham's under it for the 3rd out. But a 2-run shot by Taven Kelly doubles the score for Penn State, but still makes it just 9-4 as we head into the bottom of the 7th here in Lincoln on Big Ten Plus.
Well, last time Penn State plated 2 runs. Nebraska responded with a crooked number in the bottom half. Miller out there to try to prevent that. Rather, Partridge, I apologize.
Partridge came in relief for Miller. And he is facing Josh Caron here, who I'm sure is hoping to not see another pitch get contacted with him. 2 hit by pitches in a row for Josh Caron. He's going to need an ice bath tonight. That one almost hit him for the 3rd time in a row inside for a ball. Partridge, the 2nd lefty that Nebraska has seen tonight. Caron struck out in the 2nd, 2 hit by pitches so far today, as I mentioned. Now he lines this one into center and right into the glove of Johnny Piacentino. Well, I'm sure some deja vu in the head of Partridge as Caron appears to be back at the plate. I think you're right, Grant. It was a pitch clock violation. So make it 2-2 for Josh Caron now.
Interesting. That's the first time we've, and it doesn't even seem like, I'll take a closer look at it here, but it doesn't seem like Partridge has been too terribly deliberate up there.
3-2 coming to Josh Caron. And it's up there for a walk. So Caron replaced the pop out to center.
So it wasn't like it was on some sort of illegal movement. I mean, that's the reward for a pitch clock violation from the pitcher. So.
Well, all of a sudden, Cole Evans has a runner to work with as he is up to the plate. He had a sac fly last time. Cole Evans waits for the 1-0. He bunts it down the third base line and will be fair over at first. No play for the pitcher Partridge to go to. A perfectly executed bunt.
Worked out, and for the most part here in 2023, they haven't been able to bunt very well, but
they try it again. It's Dylan Carey, and he will be safe. Oof. That is the 7th and 8th hitters in the lineup with 2 successful bunts back-to-back to bring Efrain Cervantes up.
And Cervantes has been really good today for Nebraska. Reach base in all 3 plate appearances. He is 2 for 3 on the day. 2 out, RBI double his last time up.
Pitch barely misses, clipping Cervantes. Make it 2-0 now. Partridge reeling after giving up 2 bunts and no defensive plays for him to go to, as the speed for the Huskers has just been tough to deal with. Here's the 2-0. This one grounded out of play. You see there, not a lot of action in the Penn State bullpen. They'll be riding with Partridge likely at least through the bottom of the 7th here. 2-1. Chopped over to first. And there is an error over at first, and a run will score for Nebraska.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, in the bottom of the 7th, Bryce Matthews is up to the plate with the bases loaded. You can't intentionally walk Matthews here.
No. And you can sort of feel a sort of sense of anticipation from this crowd. This is definitely the danger zone here for Penn State. And if Partridge can't get out of this without at least cutting, giving up maybe 1 or 2 more, I think you probably look at packing it in and trying to pick up wins in games 2 and 3.
10-4 lead for Nebraska after that error over at first base allowed Josh Caron to make his way in. Matthews swings and fouls it behind him. 1-2.
Yeah, I think eyes on grand slam for that one.
No outs in the inning yet defensively for Penn State. Almost no pressure for Bryce Matthews here. Already had home run number 20 of the season earlier tonight in the 3rd inning. Swings and misses.
Yep. He was hunting another there.
Yeah, slammed the bat down. Bryce Matthews frustrated with the bases loaded as he gets sent packing. Casey Burnham to the plate. That one is lined out of play and foul. Burnham, one of the few Huskers tonight to not make his way across home plate for a run.
Reached on an error back in the 6th. Guy with really solid speed. Interesting, it has not attempted any sort of bunt at this point. Nebraska bunted, the bases loaded to get here. Puts
this one high into the air in left field. It is caught, but a run will score for Nebraska from 3rd base. Make it Cole Evans.
Anderson right there at 400 exactly on the year.
The first pitch from Thornberry. Inside for ball 1. Anderson lines this one in fair into left field. Runners rounding the base path. 1 run will score for the Huskers. Now rounding across 3rd is Cervantes, and he is in. Scoring from first base on an RBI double by Max Anderson.
Perfectly timed up the left field line. Anderson drives in 2, and Nebraska in complete control.
That was a 2-out RBI double by Max Anderson. You mentioned just a moment ago, Grant, a 400 batting average guy this year for Nebraska, and he's going to keep that average up.
Nebraska's been excellent tonight with 2 outs as a team, hitting 4 for 8, 10 for 19 with runners on base. It's well over 500 there at 526, and then 6 of 13 with runners in scoring position. Those are things that when Nebraska's offense has been good, they've been able to come up with those clutch hits. When it's been bad, if not worse. And those hits have been totally absent. That's been the key for Nebraska all year, is the two-out hitting and the hitting with runners in scoring position.
3-run coming to Swanson, and there's a walk.
And now we see Charlie Fisher coming in here in place of Griffin Everett.
Fisher chops this one over to short. Throw to second is dropped. And another runner will score for the Huskers as Max Anderson.
Tonight, it has been a really rough go in the infield.
This one lined into fair territory as it's another hit for Josh Karen, and it's an RBI single. As now it's Cole Evans up to bat with 2 on. He's got Fisher over at second and Josh Karen at first. The 1-0. Put into the sky, into right field, and it is caught. Finally, the Penn State Nittany Lions retire the side, but another impressive display offensively for the Huskers. They put up 6 in the bottom of the 7th to make it 15-4. Here inside Haymarket Park, we head to the top of the 8th. Appearance of 5 this year. If you can get a guy with that level of strikeout ability out of the bullpen, that's what Nebraska is going to need as they look to head into the postseason.
Here's Billy Gerlach, 8th in the order, and Brockett spikes one well in front of home plate, 2-0. Gerlach on the year now 0 for his last 14. Into a double play, grounded into a double play in the 3rd, and struck out in the 5th. 2-1 the count for Gerlach. Take strike 2 on the lower outside corner.
Second lefty also of the night that Nebraska has thrown out on the mound. Penn State has really struggled against Olsen.
The 2-2. Low it in. Now the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Slow roller, charging, and picking it up is Carey. The throw is high, but Cervantes goes up to get it. Nearly had a collision between Carey and Matthews on the left side of the infield, but Carey makes the play, and there's one gone.
Yeah, not sure if Carey needed to move all the way to his left to make that play. Matthews is already a great defender, probably could have let his shortstop make that play. But nonetheless, I'm sure Brockett doesn't care who makes the play. He just is glad that they made the out.
Now the bottom of the order here with Hannon. First pitch of ball, 1-0. Hannon today, 0 for 2. Takes outside, quickly ahead, 2-0. Hannon struck out in the 3rd, popped out to Olsen in the 6th. That pitch misses the knees, now 3-0. There's a strike, 3-1. Brockett trying to avoid issuing a 1-out walk. This one skied into the night sky, shallow center. Burnham adjusts, has to come over towards left center before he makes the catch for the 2nd out.
Second time in a row that Hannon has popped out. And I think you mentioned this a little earlier, Grant. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Penn State, all hitless so far now tonight. It has been tough for the bottom of this order for the Nittany Lions.
Well, it's been tough all over. Only 1 hit outside of the heart of the order for Penn State. And it's owned by the guy who's sitting in the on-deck circle right now, in Jay Harry. To get him to the plate, Thomas Bramley would have to reach base for the first time today. The 0-1 misses for ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch from Brockett finds the lower inside corner, now 1-2. Brockett fell behind the first two batters. He starts ahead here on Bramley. The 1-2. Low, good block. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's Brockett's 2-2. Swing and a miss. A strikeout ends a 1-2-3, top of the 8th. No runs on no hits, no errors, nobody left. 15-4, Nebraska maintains its 11-run advantage as we go to the bottom of the 8th on Big Ten Plus. 416 and 5 RBIs as Carey lines one down the left field line, and one hops the wall, make it 2 actually, as he got one little hop in there before the warning track. A leadoff double for Dylan Carey, who may have just broken out of his slump. He's now 3 for 5. Last time he came up, struck out in the 7th, but he had reached 3 times consecutively prior to that. Pair of singles in the 5th and a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. Oh, and he's hit by a pitch there. Square on the back. Maybe a little bit closer to the hip section, and he'll take his base. So 2 on and 1 out after the leadoff double by Carey. Here in the last 6 weeks or so, as he takes for a strike going 1. He's hitting 188, 10 for 53 in the 17 games since he returned from injury back on April 1st. He missed about 3 weeks after a hamstring injury in Minneapolis. 21 strikeouts then that time and only 10 hits. So it has been a struggle for Anglem at the plate, and it's from a guy who was Nebraska's best hitter a year ago at this time. Finished the 2022 campaign with a .303 batting average, the only Husker to play in 75% of Nebraska's games, and hit over 300. 1-2 on Anglem. Dylan Carey standing on second, Matthews at first. Facing off against Connor Throneberry. Now 2-2 on Anglem.
Good eye by Anglem there. That pitch just a little too high and maybe a little inside. Could have taken a rip at that one, but the double play in play, it's hard.
And there's a swing and a miss from Anglem, and there is strikeout number 22 since April 1st. Now it's Max Anderson.
Max Anderson not going to be shy to do damage with 2 outs. I believe that RBI double that he just had came with 2 down last inning.
Takes strike 1 here and falls behind early to Throneberry. Here's the pitch. Slow roller, and that is through into right field. Carey rounds third, and he scores, and another 2-out RBI for Max Anderson. Pitch from Throneberry. Big swing and a miss from Swanson. And it's 0-1. Really slowed him down there.
Yeah, that was a breaking ball off the plate, and Swanson didn't quite see it really well enough at all.
Here's the 0-1. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Swanson. The 1-1. And that one is going, and way gone. 15 home runs on the year for Gabe Swanson, 13 at Haymarket Park. What a swing into the Lincoln night sky.
19-4, I mean, this is starting to look like what Maryland just recently did to Nebraska in the final game of that series. I think a lot of Huskers fans were kind of surprised at the way that game kind of got out of hand early on, and I'm sure they're feeling a little bit more confident in their team with this performance.
Fisher pops it up in foul territory down the left field side, and catch made out there from Kelly, and that is the third out in the 8th. But Nebraska plates 4 on 3 hits, including Gabe Swanson's big blast to left center. 19-4, Nebraska back to close it out for the top of the 9th when we return on Big Ten Plus. Center field for Nebraska. Top of the order due up here for Penn State, 2, 3, and 4. And Jay Harry starts things off with a fly ball towards right center. And Sartori gets some early action. He squeezes the mitt for the first out.
First pitch swing for Harry, but not the result that Penn State or Harry were looking for there. And did a good job of elevating the ball, but with almost no wind to help him out, that one just landed right over at Sartori.
Here's Johnny Pisantino. Takes the first pitch low for a ball, 1-0. Pisantino, another hitter who entered the day above 330 for Penn State, but has gone 0 for 3 today. And 0 for 3 no longer. A single to right center. Actually, check that. That's probably going to be extra bases as Pisantino rounds second, digs for third, and the throw from Anderson not on time to catch him. And so a triple with 1 out from Pisantino, and Penn State an early threat with 1 out. Still 15 runs to overcome, but a big way to get the rally started if it does come to pass here for Penn State.
I believe that is the 3rd combined triple that we have seen tonight between Penn State and Nebraska. Some strong power being shown by both teams.
1 out. And now Bobby Marsh. Oh, and that comes towards the head of Marsh. Marsh loses the helmet. It's a hit by pitch. Marsh had homered previously, and now 2 on and 1 out. That's how we begin this murderer's row of the middle third of the order, as Marsh is taking a moment here to collect himself. Pitch from Brockett, hopped over towards third. Carey throws to second for 1, on to first, and not quite in time. Outstanding effort there from Cervantes to stretch out and keep that from going into the dugout. Anderson trying to turn 2 there. Really nice play there from the Nebraska infield, and Penn State gets an RBI ground out to plate 1. 2 outs, though, for the Nittany Lions. It's 19-5. We now turn to Grant Norris. Takes for ball 1. Struck out in the 2nd inning, homered in the 5th. That was a solo shot, and flew out in the 7th. Brockett's 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Kelly there on first. Brockett's 1-1 pitch. Off speed, misses up and in. And now the wind totally still. It was whipping to begin the beginning of this game. No movement by the flags out in left center. Brockett's 2-1. This one taken towards left. Swanson makes the catch, and that'll do it. A complete win for Nebraska. 19-5. The defense did its job, and the Husker Bats came alive